My government name is Patricia. Most people know me as Patra, and very close, chaotic people call me Pat. I'm the creator of this wonderful show called Black No Sugar, and I am a mommy of one little beautiful girl. When I became a mom in 2020, it was the first time I was becoming a mom. It was overwhelming. It was in the middle of a pandemic. So on top of that and a whole new experience, it was extremely overwhelming. And there's one thing that pissed me off. People in the community would tell me when they would find me taking a walk with my daughter, who was at the time a very little baby. They would find me walking in the road and tell me that I was too small and I needed to put on weight for me to be perceived as, a mother. They would say like, "Wafuse mama na yeye rato nageja," things like that. It got me thinking about, other women who don't fit what a mother is, like what does a mother look like, yeah. So there's the physical things, like for myself, I had birthed a child, but I was still not mother enough, yeah. So there are many, it got me thinking about other women who are existing outside of that box. It confirmed everything that, I had been thinking, that there are women who exist outside of these boxes, and we know them, we live with them. You're going to see stories of mothers who have lost children, yeah. And for me, the question to some of these women was, okay, like when you lose your child, let's say you had that one child and that child dies, do you consider yourself a mother? Before we even get to talk to people outside of you, do you consider yourself a mother? Do people recognize you or give you that respect that our communities give to people who have birth children? Do they consider you a mother? Like, do they say Mama Gund in the way that for me they would say Mama Kai, or like and also what is that journey like for you to come to a point where you recognize that, listen, my child is not here to call me mom or mommy or whatever, but I birthed them and I am a mother of one, of two, of three, regardless of whether they're here or not. In Uganda, we live in this denial here that queer people live amongst us, and they are human beings. They have lives, they have jobs, they have families, and people that love them. And for me now, for that person, I needed to humanize them, to remind people, not in the I guess if they forgot, that their experiences are not so different. If you listen to Winfred's story, she breaks down like any other person. Her story wasn't so different from a story of any other mother who maybe had a child out of wedlock. Yeah, your family will deny you, or they'll chase you out, or things like that, and that's her experience. It's not so different. But for me, the purpose of telling these stories was to remind people that these are people who are deserving of our kindness and support as a community, because, who are we without community? It's easy to sacrifice yourself or your joy or your happiness at the altar of, I have to be there for my children. It's the reason women get stuck in abusive marriages. It's the reason people don't pursue their dreams, because, I have these humans who rely and depend on me for everything and things like that, yeah. But for me, speaking to these women taught me that, we are all doing the best that we can. We love our children, and it is actually okay to to not go, like, there's no textbook, that there's no actual textbook and everyone is just winging it, and that's okay. Yeah. And whatever way that you're doing this mothering thing, you're enough, you love your children, regardless of what everyone is going to tell you. I mean, if you speak to like the bonus moms, yeah, there's this weird thing we have about them that, you know, I mean, even the literature and the media that we expose our children to. You read Snow White and Rapunzel, there's this evil witch stepmother who doesn't like, you know, their child. And that's the negative perception that we have towards them. But speaking to Christabel, who doesn't even identify as like I'm a mother to these children, yeah, that for me is what I was looking for. But also to affirm the women who see themselves in these women that we have spoken to be able to say that, you know, I'm not alone in this. I'm not the only one who has lost a child, and there's a community out there that I can reach out to. Kecho is doing something in that area because, again, her loss led her there. Tracy is also doing the same. Like, to be able to see your story and say, you know, I'm not alone, and if so and so can get to where they are, if they are winging it. I mean, if you were listening to Martha's story and you see her journey with her babies, like now one is 14, like, you know what, I'm not going to die. Yeah, I can do this. And for me, that was important. I think for me, the most important people that I'm thinking of are the people, again, who see themselves in these stories. But also for women who are mothering against the norm, for this to be a reminder or as an example, or these stories to be as an example to them that your experience is not unique. There's someone out there who is going through the same things that you are, and they are figuring it out, and you can figure it out as well. To understand that you're not alone, yeah, and of course, that there are communities out there, and you know that there's no one way to do life. There is no one way to be a mother. Women are multifaceted. We are many things. There are women who don't want to have children, you know, and that's okay. There are women who are taking care of their children without the support of their fathers. There are women who are, you know, building families with other women. There are blended families, and I mean, this is not even a new thing. Actually, this is how, you know, African traditional society was. So I don't understand what people mean when they say it is our culture. That's not our culture. Even monogamy is not our culture. Yeah, like people existed in communities, and children would call, you know, their father's wives mother or mama. There was no such thing as stepmom. Women who lost children, that title of mother was not taken away from them. I think there is that common saying of you cannot give from an empty cup. And I think that's what community does for us as mothers. That's community taking care of you. It's in simple gestures like, do you need a moment to sleep? Do you need me to hook you up with, you know, like a job or something for you to be able to take care of your children? I mean, even nannies are part of our community. They are a support system for us. Like, I'm able to leave home and go to work because there's someone I have trusted to take care of my child while I'm away. So for me, that's what community is, taking care of us so that we can take better care of our children. I mean, if you've seen women who don't have that support system, and you've seen how they care for their children, they respond to their children in a very negative and abusive way, because, you know, you find a woman, you know, shouting at their child like, sabuni mkozesa munje tatawa ya mugula. You see where that comes from. Yeah, I would see that like she's saying that because she didn't have the support of her partner. Yeah, So yeah, community takes care of us so that we can take better care of our children. I don't know how I would articulate how grateful I am to these women to share these stories, especially in knowing that these stories are going to be published in a public space. A lot of this was hard, like getting people to agree to, you know, share these difficult stories. For some of them, it's really unpacking trauma. I don't know if they would be aware, but you know, they are changing someone's life who would be able to watch, you know, these stories, and I'm extremely, extremely grateful. My work with Black No Sugar is to tell candid stories or candid conversations about women that we often don't see in the mainstream media. But also, why storytold is because, you know, we pretty much do the same thing. We're on the same page, doing stories that are unusual for mainstream media to tell, not because they don't have the resources, but because they have, I guess, a certain power to appeal. They have a certain power, higher power, I guess, I don't know, that they appeal to, and the stories that we tell do not lie within their objectives. Black No Sugar did that with Storytold because our objectives align.